Okay, class, we're going to go through the lesson on converting fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. Okay? We're going to start out with some fractions. And whenever you have fractions like 4/10, the denominator tells you how to write the decimal. The denominator for tenths, hundredths, thousands, and so on refers to the place behind the decimal point. So 3/10, 0.3, 1/10, 0.1, 4 thousandths, 0.004, and so on. Okay? Now, to put a fraction into decimal form, you have to divide the top number by the bottom number. So here's an example. If you're dividing 3 divided by 8, put the 3 inside the box and divide it. 8 goes into 30 3 times, and then divide that out, you get 0.375. That's probably a decimal that you've seen a fair amount because it's used a lot in money, okay, or it's used in interest rates a lot. So when you start buying cars and houses and you need a loan, you'll eighths are used in interest rates. So that's one of the ones I want you to memorize. In fact, here's a list to memorize. 1/2 you should know is 0.5. 1/3, 0.3 repeating. 2/3, 0.6 repeating. There's other repeating decimals. The ninths are easy to remember because it's just the numerator repeating. Then fourths are like 25 cents. 1/4, 25 hundredths. 3/4, 75 hundredths. 1/5. You can remember 1/5 by doubling the number. 1/5 is the same as 2/10, and so on. And then here's the eighths that I want you to memorize. Okay. Then, if you're converting a decimal to a fraction, we already know that they're related, the place is related to the denominator. Tenths and hundredths and thousandths tells us the denominator. So, if we have a number like 45 hundredths, 0.45, you can convert this to a fraction first by just reading the number 45 hundredths, writing the place of the last digit as your denominator. So convert this to 45 over 100. And then simplify. How do we simplify this?
Divide them both by 5.
Divide them both by 5. Factor out the 5s. We get 9/20ths. Is that in simplest form? Yeah. Yep. That's in simplest form because they don't have any common factors. And 9 doesn't go into 21. Right? So we know that's simplest form. Okay. Now, repeating decimals are a little bit different. Repeating decimals, when you're converting a repeating decimal, like 3, look at this example here, 0.3 repeating, we would read as 3/10, right? But 0.3 repeating isn't 3/10. If you did 3 divided by 10 on your calculator, you get 0.3, not 0.3 repeating. So, what you have to do is you have to look at this number and instead of writing 3/10, you have to take 1 away from the denominator and write 3/9. Okay? And we know 3/9 is 1/3. That's 0.3 repeating. That'll work for most repeating decimals. Like this example. 5.4 repeating. Well, 5 4/10 wouldn't give us the repeating form, would it? But 5 4 what? 5 4/9 would give us the repeating form. Now, what if 2 digits repeat?
It'd be over 99.
Yes. Then you would do 1600ths take away 1 is 1699ths. And then, can you simplify that? No, I don't think so. Or if 3 digits repeat, then you would do 213 thousandths take away 1. And does that have any common factors? 3. I know. 3 goes into both. Because 2 plus 1 plus 3 is 6. And 6 goes into both of these, or 3 goes into both of these then. Okay? So that's how you do with repeating fractions, or repeating decimals to fractions. Let's look at your worksheet. The first one, again, decimals to fractions. Let's go through a few of these. How would you do number 1? John?
So, on this, the worksheet,
Yep.
so, you would take, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, read the decimal.
It's 1/4.
We'd read that as what?
2/5.
No, how would you read this number? As you read numbers, 4/10. So write 4/10. Then reduce it. Chase, how would you do number 2?
Number 2 is 7,500.
7,500ths. You write as 75 hundredths. Hundredths is the place of the last digit. And reduce it. Right? Hunter. Yeah, I know. Dylan, I know.
Oh, okay.
Okay. How about number 11? What would you write for number 11? What's number 11, Isaac? Read number 11. Nine over 32. 6 and 9 over 32. And we're converting this to a decimal, right? What would the 6 be? What would we do with that 6? Dylan?
You'd make it into a whole.
Yeah, the 6 point. Then how would we convert the fraction to a decimal? Divide them. 9 divided by 32 on your calculator. What's 9 divided by 32? Isaac?
Well, add the 6 and it would be 6.2812.
1, 2, 8.
5.
1, 2, 5.
Yes. 28125.
Okay.
Divided by
6.28125.
32. Divided by 32.
9 divided by 32.
I got 0.28125.
There is no 6.
But the 6
Plus
is right
6.
there.
Plus
We have to
6.
put the 6 there first, right? Put the 6 in the answer, because we know this is 6 ones. 6 wholes, and then just convert the fraction. Any questions on that? How would you compare numbers? Mixed numbers and decimals and fractions. Whenever you're comparing numbers or putting them in order, they have to be written in the same what? Same, louder? In the same form, right. So you either have to put them all in fraction form. You probably want to put them all in decimal form. Decimals are much easier to compare than fractions, aren't they? Because then you can just compare the places in the number. Okay? So put them all in decimal form whenever you're comparing them or putting them in order. All right, finish that worksheet for tomorrow.